Long-term unemployment crisis is putting on our children, our families.
Tower blocks that are synonymous with poverty, crime and exclusion, and where unemployment is twice as high as other parts of France.
I'm worried, you know. I'm worried to, if I finish my study, would I work, would I not work?
Now let's look at how unemployment is defined. A person with a job is employed. But in the official definition, not everyone without a job is unemployed. Is a 6-year-old unemployed? Is a prisoner unemployed? What about a retiree? In each of these cases, the official answer is no. A person is counted as unemployed only if they're an adult, non-institutionalized civilian, without a job, and actively looking for work.
Everyone on the street in Stockholm represents Europe's unemployed. Half have been out of a job for about a year, and 2/3 have been out of a job for more than 2 years. That means there are 10.5 million long-term unemployed in Europe, creating a need for an EU-wide action plan.
Each year, 1 in 5 stop looking for a job, become inactive, increasing the risk of social exclusion and poverty for them and their family.
Turns out that women face a much tougher time in the job market than men do as they age.
Was the buzz at last week's annual meeting of the American Economic Association, thanks in part to a Federal Reserve study making headlines. Women over 50 now account for half of the long-term unemployed. Summarized in this video, where thousands of made-up resumes were mailed to employers, identical except for the names, half black-sounding, half white. The results? Black-sounding names were 50% less likely to get follow-up calls.
Data from Eurostat, the EU's statistical office, shows that youth unemployment in the EU is running at between 20 to 30% in France, Portugal, Belgium, Finland, Romania, Slovakia and Cyprus. It is at 30 to 40% in Italy and Croatia. In Spain, the rate is 45%, but the highest of all is Greece at 47%. This means that almost half of all young adults there are unemployed.
What does it do to them? Well, I put a quote up there, I just want to get my life back. I hear this in different ways from unemployed workers that I interview. It's devastating to them financially, that's pretty obvious. Their debt goes up, they may face foreclosure and bankruptcy, but it also depletes their savings. Oftentimes at the very point in their life when they need it most to prepare for retirement. But it also has an enormous psychological toll, an emotional toll, and a healthcare cost. We know from lots of research that long-term unemployment leads to greater alcohol and substance abuse, to people thinking about or actually committing suicide. It leads to all sorts of disease, people not going to the doctor when they should for preventative health care because they can't afford it. They've lost their health care insurance. They can't even afford the copay. Families are in crisis. Of course, it's not just the unemployed worker, it's the people around them, their spouse or partner, their children, that will also suffer. A person who's anxious, depressed, and worried about the future.
Solution when someone doesn't have enough money is to give them money. And so that's more or less the idea of universal basic income.
Free money to citizens by way of a basic or guaranteed income isn't new. In 1962, the most famous free market economist of the 20th century, Milton Friedman, wrote, "We should replace the ragtag of specific welfare programs with a single comprehensive program of income supplements in cash," what he referred to as a negative income tax.
In the assistance with looking for a job, further education and training, as well as support for housing, transport, childcare services or rehabilitation, depending on the existing services in each EU country.
Fewer people out of work means lower social assistance spending and higher tax revenues.